How's this for the first cast of the day? It's Sunday morning. I just had a lovely pancake breakfast thanks to my mother. Thank you, Mom. Props for the breakfast. But I have a family party coming up later at like 3 o'clock. I'm not just gonna sit around my house for 3 hours and do nothing. I need to go fit in some fishing. I have like 2 hours before I need to drive back home, but I'm going to a pond I haven't been to in about a year and a half, 2 years. Used to have big fish in it, usually really matted over with grass, but looks like they killed the grass because there's no mats whatsoever. I was gonna throw the frog in the jig. There's no grass. I'm sticking with the jig. All right, gotta go with the cringy GoPro video because I'm pond hopping. I was gonna go with just a jig, but I couldn't just bring the jig. I'm pond fishing, I gotta bring a frog. Weapon for the day, 1/2 ounce little DP jig, Zoom speed craw. Wow, water's up. I'll bet you something's in this culvert. I'm gonna break my line if I set the hook, but got one. Got something. What's a big one? Stay on there. Oh my God. Stay on there. It's a huge one. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my. I'm speechless. That is a mammoth bass. This is the biggest bass I've ever caught out of a pond. I am shaking. That is the first cast of the day. Time to let her go. I mean, that's a 7-pound largemouth. There she goes. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. I probably said, oh my God, like 30 times. My line is shredded. That is incredible. I pitched that jig just in this tiny little hole. And the second that jig went down there, he grabbed it. Watch this, I bet you this cut's easy. Yep, wow. That took nothing. He rubbed me on all this sharp metal and super sharp concrete. That's the biggest pond bass I have ever caught in my whole life. I mean, I live in Illinois. That fish was close to 7 pounds. I'm 100% sure. This is by far the biggest pond bass caught in my life. I've caught a bunch of 5-6 pounders. That one was leagues beyond. I can't believe I didn't bring a scale. I didn't expect to catch anything over 18 inches in this pond. That fish was so tall. What a way to start off the video. I mean, it's the middle of August, water temps in the high 80s. You're not supposed to see fish like that. That's supposed to come in the springtime only. That turned my Sunday around. All right, now since whenever the water's high on a lake, pond, whatever you're fishing, when the water's high, you're gonna need to be up on the shoreline because that's where the bait's getting pushed and subsequently that's where the fish are. Culverts, if they ever have enough water, are always gonna be some of your #1 places to fish. And especially when that water just rose. He's got a conveyor belt right in front of him. That fish, he does not have to move for meals to drop into his face like my jig just did. This lake, this pond, it's a public pond. It's a park district pond. It gets a good amount of pressure. But in order to get those good fish, you gotta go when they're vulnerable. They didn't get big for no reason. They're vulnerable during pre-spawn, during the spawn. And they're vulnerable in periods like this. When the water just shot up, it got muddy. They're pushing up to feed and they're less spooky because again, this water is usually a foot clarity. Right now it's a couple inches. So you get those big, if you want a big girl, you gotta go when they're vulnerable, usually. Oh, there's a big one. He's got me up in there. Another big one up shallow. Another big one on the jig. Woohoo! Yes! Oh my God. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, that's amazing. I can't believe that. This was not that big. He's maybe pushing 4. Oh, yes. That one didn't hit the frog. I just worked, wow, that jig got him so good. I just slowly worked that jig right on the bottom in front of that big weed pile. And this guy wanted all sorts of that DP jig. Look at that fish. That is 2 big ones. Those are pond giants for the Chicago suburbs. This one is not even in the same class as the last fish, and that's a big one. Yes! Oh my God, this is awesome. This is the best decision I've ever made to go pond fishing before this family party. Wow. That's easily over 10 pounds in 2 fish. That's incredible. I didn't feel the bite on that one. I just saw my line swimming off. All I did was I pitched it right there. Saw my line swimming off to the left, and I set that hook hard. That's amazing. I mean, this is a public lake. This lake gets hammered. But again, it just rained. These fish are pushed up on shore. Because what happens is, to my understanding, when the shorelines flood, all the bluegill and little bait fish come up on the shore to eat whatever insects and stuff like that are up in there. Predator fish follow, and plus, I mean, look at all this cover. There is so much cover for these fish to lay in and then ambush that prey. It's just a perfect scenario. I guarantee you, if I would have came here before the flood, I would have struggled big time. There's a culvert somewhere right there, and I have not a clue where it is. Got another one. Oh, it's a big one too. In the shade. Oh, this is another big one. No! Oh my God, it came off. I can't believe that. That was another big one. Whoo! He came right up in the shade. Right up on shore again. Wow, that really, that pisses me off. Now, the way to tell if it's a big fish when you haven't seen it, like I could tell with that one, when their head shakes, obviously the longer the body, the wider those head shakes are going to be. So if you know that fish is shaking his head and the line is going like this, you know that's a big one. Because it takes a long body. It takes a long body to make those head shakes go that wide. Oh, wow, that's frustrating. Could have had 3 big ones, just made the video that much better, but I got 2 on camera, so I can't complain. Missed opportunities. Okay, I'm gonna leave this frog here and I'm going jig only. Wow, this water is so high, it's up on the path. So here's the pipe. Well, sure, I'm gonna get a couple here. If I don't, then that water, wow, that water's, got one. This one's not that big, but it's a fish. Oh, it is a nice one though. Okay, now I just talked about it. Honestly, that's a good one. That's a good fish. Just talked about it. This fish, there's a culvert right there. I'll show you in a little bit. I'm gonna definitely stay off of it. There's a culvert and it's an outflow drain. And what happens is the fish sit in front of the current and just use it as a conveyor belt. And they just wait till all the crayfish, the shad, the bluegill, they wait for everything to just come to them. They sit there and they barely move in that current while the water and the current rushes everything to them. That was first cast in front of here. I think there's gonna be more. Oh no! What a sad moment this is. This rod, 13-year-old rod. This has been my favorite flipping and pitching rod for ever since I honestly got into bass fishing. It's one of the best rods ever made. They don't make the things like they used to. I just set the hook on a stick and it cracked. At least that didn't break on a fish. For the time being, I'm just gonna use it. I don't have scissors. I can't cut off my braid with my frog. Well, this might cut my pond trip a bit early. I thought there was a weird noise when I set the hook. It's because it snapped. Both of these, this rod and reel from 2003. It's now 2016. They've been used for 13 years. Oh, the broken rod is gonna catch a fish. Oh no, it's breaking even more. Oh my God. I caught another one, but that kind of seals the fate for the Kistler. It was already snapped. That snapped it even worse. Was this little fish worth it? He's not little, he's fat, but there you go, buddy. Now let's see how this crack's doing. The rod was still strong enough to set the hook, but yeah, look at that. There's a crack running from the second guide all the way up to the third guide. I'm just gonna keep fishing it until it burns out. I don't have any other options, really. It's like a dying soldier on his last leg, still trying to do work. That's exactly what this is. This is a dying soldier. He just got shot. He's on his knees. This is his last stand. Oh wow, I didn't even know that. That's how high the water is. It's not even an outflow pipe anymore, it's an inflow. Well, I got another fish. And it 100% broke my rod in half. Oh my God, this is such a mess. And that's another good one. Oh my God, how did I set the hook? That and that right there, that is the dying breath for the Kistler LTA. Typically, if that thing would have cracked and I would have had a warranty, I would not have kept using it. That thing's 13 years old. There's no warranty on it. There's a nice chunky pond fish. The last breath of the Kistler. I might still use it. Honestly, I got nothing to lose. Now, I think if I can take this off, I can still use this rod to kind of dabble and get some hook sets in. I mean, YouTube's supposed to be entertaining, right? I guess that would be entertaining. Oh, I missed one right there. I ripped it out of him because I couldn't set the hook. Got him with a half a fishing rod. Yes, yes. Oh my God. I got him. This is the craziest time fishing I've ever had in my whole life, and I almost didn't go. I almost mowed the lawn. Half a fishing rod. Can't even walk here because the water is up on land. There we go, another bass. No. Oh my God, I can't catch a break with this rod. This is why you're supposed to have a jig rod with a good tip, because when you set the hook, a good soft tip doesn't rip it out of their mouths like what I'm doing right now. I literally have a 2-foot stiff pole. Oh, but it's catching fish. Here's a dinker, but it's a fish. That's 2 fish now on the broken pole. And usually when I come here, especially in the summer, I catch 1 or 2 fish if I'm lucky. And they're not good ones like I've been catching today. I mean, again, this pit boss I found, I'm gonna keep this and throw it out. This is a pressured public park district pond. These fish are used to seeing lures. Oh, yeah, look it. You think this pond is ever fished? More people just leaving their trash. This is not a private spot by any means. There's a well-worn path, a bunch of old lures hanging around because people are too lazy to throw out their trash. Somehow there's still big fish in here. Just had an amazing hour of pond fishing, but it was not without sacrifice. My favorite stick, my 13-year-old Kistler Helium LTA, has finally snapped. And I snapped it setting the hook on a stick. It's a really sad time for myself right now. I have literally a half an hour left before I gotta go leave for the grandparents' party. So I'm gonna zoom over to a frog pond quick, because that's all I got left is a frog, and see if I can get some more on a frog to kind of wrap in this I mean, I already got a great video now. I'm gonna go pop over to a frog pond and see if I can get something to blow up on top. That frog pond was garbage, so I'm gonna end the video now. Now, any pond around you is pressured, whatever it may be. If it's got big fish, but they're hard to get, you gotta go there when they're vulnerable. When those ponds flood, they get water gets muddy, they get pushed way up on shore, and they get comfortable in that dirty water where you can sneak up on them like I did today. I mean, that pond, there was such well-worn paths. It was a park district park. There was lures all over the ground, but it had big fish. I knew it did. I usually could never get them, but I got them today, and I snapped my rod, my amazing rod. So good day, bad day. I have other rods, but you can't replace getting a massive pond bass like that. So I'm glad the rod didn't break on that fish. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you next time.